Hello here, and well, we can continue with careful there's one. The new intervallo. Let's see if we can get to probably second part. Well, it depends actually if it's lengthy this one or it's more story focus. You'll have to see. After the battle, something sits ill with me. Let's see how much the boss's changes, right? Amid the sprawl of escort accidents disordered with the Flash, Engdu had her gaze fixed somewhere high overhead. And at the end of her gaze, are those photographs? A long line stretched across the open air, photographs hanging from it like laundry clipped to a clothes line? Clothes line? I mistook it for a warding robe at first and gave me a little attention. Yet upon closer look, I saw those pictures hanging from the line. Perhaps they had been strung within the dark room and remained unused with the distortion took hold. Bizarre. The observation of unaffected elements in the space occupied by a location-type distortion is most irregular. Indeed, the items we wore from the studio have already changed into images of various sites of escort, yet these alone remain as they were. Let's take them down and check them ourselves. Just as I wondering if the line was perhaps too high for me to reach, Mersault stepped forward and plucked a few photos of it, as he brought them to me. We heard another pop, and again a bright white flash blinded by vision for a moment. Good grief. Distortion likes to change its mind, huh? It keeps switching between S-Corp and N-Corp. This feels like getting caught in a flashback detonation. My whole body tenses up, then goes black. No, then goes black right after. The third scene is where Bossy what did she say? Flashback. So they do have one of the commands of today, a flashbang. Or I wonder if it's city flashbang, so maybe it's more powerful. The effects on a grenade will also blind someone. Oh no, think about it, the flashbang doesn't actually flash, does it? It's more of a stunner from sound. It's times. Well, we are not a military one, so no need to get into specifics, I would say. The other scene is where Bussy grumbling about the distortion and its sudden jumps, except for Mersault, who stood right in front of me with a photo still hanging out in his hand. Oh, you didn't drop them? None. He gave his social short answer, then returned his attention to the cylinder he had been shaking. He took the film out of the container and flicked the liquid off it with clean, controlled motions. Is the process finally done? Wait, we're back with the lights or no? Is it okay to take the film out? Yes, exposure to light will not damage the film once developed is complete and the image is fixed. There is no cause for concern. That's a relief. I couldn't say I follow all the technical details, but no cause for concern was all I needed to hear. Saying in relief, I held up the photographs so I could take a proper look. So, see anything odd in the manager bat? There are people in them. The people in the photographs all look different from one another. I can do just this, and there we go. A bakery, N-Corp, greeting bouquet, and misuse person. If I had to pick one similarity between them though, they'll look cool and indifferent. Yeah, that's the city, alright? Ordinary folks, you say, anyway. These are like the photos we pick up at the studio earlier. Are these the kind of photographs they use to make canned experiences? What was that? The scenery around us seemed to ripple just now. Indeed, in tricolor. I was about to ask Faust if she had felt the strange sensation but fade away soon enough. Perhaps it's nothing serious, bro. Against distortion. Maybe it was just a spell of random vertigo. Is it impossible to get dizzy when I got clocked forehead? No. Marshall must have noticed that I was out of sorts for a moment, because he seemed to pause on purpose before answering my question. No, I thought you said docugraphers take these photos to put into Can experiences. Raw ingredients for Can experience are handled exclusively by the grand magazine Sisyphus. There is no known method for external parties to access them. Sisyphus what? Oh, I think I heard of it. Can experiences, right? They're high in demand in other districts too, but the only brand stamped on them is Grand Magazine Sisyphus. I want to say like Sisyphus, but I'm not sure if that's the correct one. Because don't know if it's going to like normal word or if it's actually coming from French. Actually, anchor, what does represent? Nugel and Hama. It's not French, was it? It was what? German? I remember some of my classmates bragging about it trying. Then whenever exam weeks came around, never had one myself though. I can't really explain it, but something about them just feels kind of wrong. Is that popular, huh? The process-based content of Can experience known as experience butter is supplied to reprocessing factories where topographers fine-tune the experience details. Photographs are primarily used for that purpose. They can fine-tune experience? An easier example for understanding will be to consider why topographers take pictures of subjects such as buildings. A purchaser might wish to experience living in a luxurious building that he could never afford. Another might wish to vent out impulses of violence by experiencing the burning of an expensive property. Demand for haute couture can experience increasing by day. So that's why the photos from earlier were all fancy buildings. Yes, Manager. Conversely, the information concerning ordinary experience that can be easily countered in reality is in low demand. Then why photograph these residents at all? Perhaps there were not image harvests for their commodity value, would fall a bit too fast, hasty friend. But pure photography in and itself may have the human capture to seize a vanishing instant through lens. There are people who take photographs knowing that it will cost an exorbitant sum. I have seen some before. A significant amount of money just to take a single photo. That is, if they could even manage to find a photographer who will take the risk and help take that picture. I'm not so crass as to price on sentiment and nostalgia. With spending this much money on film rolls, what could have made this investment worth it? I would say maybe it isn't just a matter of sentiments or memories, even. Living through the photographs, I quite express my thoughts. Exactly, Manager. I'm not exactly an authority on distortions, but I know they manifest through desires or emotions that became warped in bizarre ways. But everything the distortion has shown us far points back to S-Corp. That is, the S-Corp from the past that only Kim and Engdu would have seen and remember. These photos though, they're completely untouched by the distortion, doesn't it feel off? There must be a strong fixation at play here, strong enough to slip past even a distortion. And if that obsession is something that refuses to let these memories be influenced, I think our next step should be to look for the people in these photos. These photographs are the only undistorted, unaltered clues we have. Dante says it would be advisable to locate the people shown in these photographs. Oh, good idea. Team leader did say that we should accept the input from the LCB with open arms. Hey Engdu, can you get me the office catalog? We'll probably need to commission an office affiliated with 7 Association. Let's look for one that can take the request right away. Can someone tell us we're fine? And I think I know where to find these people. Dante says one of the people shown in these photos has already been found. What? When? How? Well, I guess I'm just having a lucky day. Damn! I pulled the radar from my waist and switched it on without answering extra questions. The reviewer DWRCA. Do what? No, can't say. I think she said the weather group clock. Actually, she was actually saying something normal. I was expecting the worst. That one was especially hard to understand. Ryoshu. That's with you, right? Can you put her on? Okay. Alright, you too. Ah? What? Then the ones who's out? One sec. I kinda went overboard with the bread and pastries. My hands are completely full over here. Pastries? What kind? Just one of everything. Neat! Can you grab an extra brioche and baguettes for me, too? Love the ones from that street. They're so good. Hold on, I got a red just to pile off if I wanna. Use them on their package. Yeah, sure. You can treat food like that, okay? But bakers have feelings too, you know? How do you think the baker will feel if they knew someone was treating their precious babies like trash? This coward is rattling again for no reason. Anyways, Dante, can you give me a sec? Do you need me to fight? I just need to cram this into pockets real quick. No, it's not a fight. Oh, then what's this about? I took a closer look at the words written on the wicker basket in the first photograph Marcel had brought me. The bakery? Where is that bakery you are? So we're going for all the places, maybe the last one being the mysterious person. Might be the boss. Also, let me just not waste encapheline. I know what you're looking away actually. Is it? Looks female, but you never know. Not for everyone. But yeah, I guess it's an experience. I know what you're looking for. The owner of the bakery was a woman holding. Yes, it is. The same wicker basket as the one in the photograph. She took one glance at the picture held up for her and gave a quick nod. This man, he works in Cannery 17 right next. He's a regular. He used to drop by every morning to buy sandwiches to share with his co-workers. Haven't seen him around lately though. And those co-workers, I assume they were wearing the same uniform? Asking the question on my behalf, Otis showed the bakery out another photograph. Probably. He was already wearing one too, I guess it's the Canary uniform. This confirmed our lead for executive manager. A few inquiries at the Canary should bring us the information we need. Yeah, you're right, but she hasn't been concerned at all. She's one of the people in the photos that weren't affected by surgery, right? So she will Chris acquaintance. Allow me to verify I'm executive manager. Do you know the name of this regular you spoke of? His name? Am I supposed to know that? I wasn't expecting her to actually know his name. Tentative in her voice gave me pause. He took a photo of you, wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that you are well acquainted? Oh, that... The baker's demeanor changed when Otis pressed the point. She gave a strange, unsettling smile before pulling something from her apron pocket. A thin and round, can-like object. He said they will let me fade off these cane experiences for free if I let him take my picture, and say he will throw in the photograph of the building of my choice. He photographed buildings, right? I hear he even takes work trips to the nest every now and then, so I asked him to get me a photograph of this lovely mansion I saw by the nest suburbs. I know I will never get too far a bit of a project like that, but this way I could at least experience what it's like. And gosh, it was everything I ever hoped for. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but there was a distinct eeriness to that dreamy, blissful smile on the baker's face that chilled down my spine. Blissful smile? No, it seems like she's pretty nervous, anxious maybe to me, but maybe that's the eeriness that he says. Young Marshall, are these scan experiences truly possessed of such marvels, to pluck out semblance of reason for one's countenance? They maintain high demands across the city. District 14 is only one of several markets. Does that mean that those wonder Shinkan experiences may experience venturing on an expedition to the Great Lake And Bush jumping off the summit of that skyscraper yonder as they remain seated when they might, however. Oh, a magic can allowing one to pursue any dream that her may conceive, but I confess my own soul is much tempted. It differs for pursuing a dream. Mass produced can experiences are made from back experience better mix with various modified information. The resulting end product enables intense simulation through altered memory. Therefore, it is unlike the dream as expressed by Don Quixote. A piece of memory refined along the numerous processing stages of the cannery's production lines is not equivalent to genuine experience, meaning the usage of experience in her previous statement must also be amended. Memory is altered for intense stimulation. That does sound quite shady. How do tasks get associated upon the boons granted by the gun? Emotions that are self forsooth inclined towards a little grandeur? Is it because the memories provided by can experiences are extremely vivid? The statistics have shown that the users of cans interpret them as authentic experiences and become dependent on them. A possible cause of the formation of dependent patterns in that can experience allows one to feel as if one has achieved a dream that is, in reality, impossible. Are you implying that the users are made contact with the reinforced dreams stored in instant use cans? Worse still, the user may no longer strive to chase dreams in the waking world. For the sweeter and more friendly the dream is embellished, the more impossible it will appear to be grasped with one's own hands. To become a cause for surrender instead of inciting one to march forth, verily, not it annul the significance of dreaming itself, if the resultant dream roused not the spirit to gallop toward it? Whatever that annuls its significance, I cannot know. But they sell well. So, how much will you be buying? Muy why? You came bargaining with all these questions and I was pensioned out to answer them politely, wasn't I? Don't you think you owe me a sale or two? You're not able to leave without buying a single loaf after crowding up my and scaring off my customers, are you? Her case was on point actually. With our whole group gathered around, the passerbys gave us a wet bird and hurrying on, whispering among themselves. Nobody was able to come in and buy bread like that. Come on, lady, I practically cleared your shelf already, didn't I? You did? Where the hell are you keeping all that then? Are you being out of gas? Of course I had some already and the rest is I took in my back coat pockets so we can archer later. So you already thought so. Let's buy a little more. It's true we're scared of the other customers. Understood. Can't that expense is made to facilitate this operation? The lack of prior budgeting should not pose a problem. Oh nice! Is this a mere wristband for me, please? Huh? It was Kim. He really did have a knack for making an entrance at the least expected moments. Hey, mister! Where have you been this whole time? Wait. Be cross with me all you like, but just give me a moment. Ezra was waiting in disposable anticipation, only for Kim to take a sesame rice bun from the baker's hand and chop it into it. Alright, I'm ready. Freaking waste of bread! Gah! Her angry fist drove straight into Kim's solar plexus, holding him into the ground like a crumpled sack of potatoes as he rolled away. At this rate, the owner might start charging us for the whole bakery next roof and all. Let's get away from here. Manager. Marcel approached me as we walked down the street with Ezra and Kim still squabbling behind us. He was holding a roll of something brown and tightly coiled. I have completed development of the film, per your instruction. Also, this is the film in that canister you were shaking on. Do I just unroll it? Hold it up against the sun or other sources of light. As it is reversal film, the images will be visible as they were photographed. I had no idea what a reverse film meant, but it is as he said unroll the film. Okay, I can see it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, is it showing? Can I see too? Move it over a bit, let me have a look too. It was hard to make out the details because the images were too small, but I could still tell the strip was packed with almost identical pictures. Huh? Is it the same person in every shot? Is the same pose in all of them? Oh, you're right. No, wait a second. See the arm here? The further along the strip you go, the lower it gets. Yeah, and the head looks like it's turning to the right. Huh? When I was squinting up the tiny fragments of the film when Sinclair suddenly flinched and went stiff like a symptom should have. A second later, Hal color drained out of his face. Sinclair, what's the matter? This reminds me of something I learned in school. You draw a picture in the corner of a stack of notes or a thick book in the exact same spot on every page. You start with the arms down, then you make one small change on each page, notch the arms up higher and higher, until the rays all the way up. And when you flip the pages fast enough, the drawings stop looking like separate images. The figures starts moving. That class was called Introduction to Motion Pictures. I remember the teacher saying that video footage what we watch are all made the same way. And you're saying that this is a continuous sequence of still images? The arrangement of the frames suggests that these films strips highly likely to constitute footage, a violation of NCORP's taboo. So you can make films in NCORP, but maybe in other places you can. NCORP, well, I guess if you are going to do something like that, you are to make a CAN experience, not a recording maybe? No, not recording, what would say? A film? Maybe the first time we are seeing it normally. Maybe I was doing Blunt 1, right? For what I had thought Sinclair, so I could actually be using at least Pinky Sinclair, but it's alright. Well, let's see, they are normal enemies or what? Oh, he's resisting. Oh crap! As soon as I register Mersault's words, my hand reflexively threw the film to the ground. Are we okay? We may have just broken a taboo. I began to race, rapidly traveling back through our journey, specifically to the time when Don Quixote had smashed that window at K-Corp and caused the wind to wipe out our team multiple times over. I felt faint. At least we had Virgilius with us then, and ended up being not that big of a deal at the end of the day since I could revive the sinners, but some nice taboos can get us in serious trouble just for carrying anything that has to do with them, can't they? I hurriedly turned towards the sinners, many of whom looked every bit as troubled as I felt. Still, a few of them expressed a casual lack of concern, sitting out the crazy things we've gone through so far. Miss Fox, what will happen to us if it gets the manager killed? Okay, so this is it, huh? That's a freaking out, guys. They're not dying and we will be fine. NCORP's not gonna kill you on the spot, just for possessing a film roll. Really? Well, it might be a problem if the film roll does contain genuine recorded footage. Well, it's not like you guys had a hand in the filming it, right? When NCORP dudes get here to pick it up, just comply with their commands, thank them for their service and nicely hand it over to the authorities. Everything should be A-okay. There is a possibility that it will not be okay. Huh? Because I have developed the contents of that film roll in that dark room. Oh. The court will take the lack of intentionality into consideration, however it is very likely that my actions will be deemed as aiding the primary violator of that taboo. Really? But... Team leader said that NCORP has their own regulatory standards regarding image quality, which they use to determine the severity of taboo violation. If the footage image quality of frame rate is within regulations, NCORP won't be phasing their fixers out on our bots right away, and that could buy us time or give a company some leverage to make the deal, however small it might be. Because what they're really sniffing around for is how close to reality the video is, or how close of an experience it provides to real life. So even if we're really unlucky, they actually come after us, it's going to be fine as long as the footage is low fidelity, probably? So what does exactly frame rate within regulations entail? Oh, it means that the interval between each frame should be like super brief. Think about photo slideshows, they only show you one image every 5 seconds, so it doesn't feel real or vivid, right? You can technically temp motion pictures, but there is no vividness required to violate their taboo. Then let us analyze this final roll and see how vivid it really is. Also, I trust that you are knowledgeable in subjects concerning NCORP, yes? Cooperate. Could this film roll be considered a violation of the taboo? Or please pick up the film from the ground and show it to Mersault. That cannot be determined. unless each frame is thoroughly analyzed and compared with adjacent, without waiting for Marcel to finish out his unroll the film roll and raise it against the sky. The rest of you get over here, we must analyze these frames. The film canister was live experiment, so I assume the culprit had created this as a test run of some sorts. An experiment to see how close they could get to violating a taboo and testing the limits of the law. It might have been a mere collection of similar photographs that are pretending to be recorded footage. The sinners all gather around Autist and look up towards the film in unison. Here, the flower pot moves between frames, doesn't it? The photographer could possibly have moved the boat while also holding down the shutter button. I don't see any difference. See here. The expression written on the subject's visage appears rather stiff. Wait, I use gloom is all? Perhaps yet observe closer. The stiffness arises not from gloom, but from strain to maintain it. Oh, if that's the case, maybe the subject really is trying to fake an actual footage by moving very, very slowly. That's pretty convincing theory. We're not sure if that's enough to conclude that we're in the clear just yet. That's when Babu Hatakim, who had been sprawled on the ground ever since Ezra punched him, stepped into the conversation. Let's see. Look at the shadow cast on the windowsill. See how it noticeably shifts between each frame. Whoever made this knows their class for sure, but I can't imagine a backstreet dweller will have any way to mess with the sun's trajectory. Then the likely scenario must be that the creator of this film roll deliberately made its subject move very slowly from frame to frame, creating a series of disconnected photos that when played sequentially would look like the footage of that violates the taboo. In which case, this film does not violate the next taboo, correct? That's highly probable. So he says, executive manager, we should be in the clear for now at least, in regards to aiding the violation of a wings taboo. What if he has willing to go through this much trouble just to test NCAR patients? It's hard to believe that he had messed up here. Based on all available evidence, executive manager, it seems reasonable to conclude that the inflection point of this case is at the violator on the run. Huh? But what motive would they have to do that? Sure, working for a wing subsidiary has nothing on being an actual wing employee, but it's still pretty up there when it comes to careers available in the backstreets. Work for a subsidiary long enough and you might even get transferred to a factory job in the nest. That gives you a pretty okay chance to have a better life, so... Maybe he was just tired of living that kind of life. Everyone has one of those days, don't they? It's a feeling that you could be doing more than life the rest of your life 9 to 5. Hell. The drive to do something that takes you away from the pressure of trying to make a life. Damn, Ismael, being a bit too real here, aren't you? Something about what Ishmael said must have tickled Babu Hakim, because he slowly whipped around toward her and shook his head. Baby, but how many of those people do you think are capable of throwing away everything they build on a whim? Probably at the scene, maybe couples just like to play with fire. Play with fire? Yeah. Must have started by doing something that technically doesn't count as a taboo, an inch on and on until he brushed it close to one. One training shot through this camera, another with the next, until eventually he ended up recording actual footage. Cool. Then that leaves the question of what the heck was he trying to do with it? Might have been trying to screen it using a projector for all of this part of the backstreets to see. What? Would you want to make everyone here event us with that when we came across the projection? Right on. It would have made those folks violators of the taboo. But why would anyone? So would you care to explain how you know that, Mr. Red Brain? I asked around on the opposite street and apparently some guys been going around asking the workshops if they could make him a projector. Seemed like most of them turned him down, but they also said that he stopped showing up after a certain point. Fair to guess that he got his hand on a projector somehow. Alas! It is not the taboo of NCorp to view records videos. Pray tell, why would I need inside mine? Well, in a taboo you might have projector in it. Maxis blocks down for 18 long Ethereum's coin. Huh, so how do we track this guy down? Multiple individuals in the same garb as the frame team has just been identified in the vicinity. They all carrying the same briefcase. How is that convenient? When complete is like a festival or convention, you still people who look like they're involved with the We were what we're looking for, so they lead us whatever we need to go. Indeed, a dark research on convection. There will be those informal play cheers and suspended meaning about. Hercules was trust them to lead me to the combination menu. Uh-huh. And was it common for those play-shirt fellas to look around like they're scanning the area? Did they also go around checking people against photographs? Collect evidence, please advise for. They also raided each other, glaring at people like they're glaring at. Huh? Perhaps you could answer that series of queries yourself. Nope. This crowd sure doesn't look like they're gonna let us follow them. So it's finally the true cop stuff. Well, we have seen them before, so let's go. Alright. At least she managed to do the atelier, Yuria. Also, why are they being focused in contrast to the weird thing? Maybe it's because we have Ezra and Engdu still. Don't completely know the reason. 110 you say. Still kind of within 10 turns. I wonder.
자유로워질 수 없어. 이 거미줄을 끊어. 꽃을 피워볼까요?
Just in case something might go wrong. Might? Oh no, it's just fight. Alright, there is one more. Something also funny. If Ezra doesn't manage to do the attack, she's going to. She isn't able to cycle the weapons. She might be stuck in one of the weapons, and in this fight, she and Engdu began targeting the same enemy in quite a lot of spots, so they were competing to kill one, and Ezra maintained the 5 times the weight for a lot of time. That's alright. Work at the beginning now. The distortions again. Well, yes. Technically, I also could use Captain Ishmael, which I forgot is also poison. No, it was poison. No? Maybe not. I'm smoking.
잠시 이것만 삼키고.
Technically, she doesn't have a reason to be fighting, right?
자,
Also
판테라
could put
갑니다.
Otis and replace it now that we have other guys who were good with boys of the other guys. Her challenge, what a waste of time. Well, at least they're not much of a fighter one-on-one. Service desk closed in the combat specialized department. While they have undergone basic combat training for exigent circumstances, they're not prepared for head-on conflicts such as this. Yeah, I noticed. They kept taking pictures of us with their briefcases. Isn't that their primary job description? What the napping away for then? Whispering my hair on backs like a lot of creeps. Correcting photos to include into report for their higher-ups, I will wager. I can kinda see how they could think we're involved in this somehow. Every time they follow a lead, they end up encountering us. It's hardly a surprising rationale. Marcelo stood a footstep away from the rest of the seniors and watched in silence as they tried to come up with an explanation. What is he thinking? What is it that he wishes to say? Or is he simply contemplating, observing with any preconceived notions in his mind? His silence should have been any different from his usual reticent. Was though by some chance or whim. Hey Marcel. I was struck by this sense of brief yet distinct strangeness. I was compelled to speak with him. Yes, manager. Don't hesitate to let me know if there is something you wanna say, but I'm sure if you're supposed to say it. Yes, manager. I will do as you are should one circumstance occur. As always, his reply was definitely inconcise and direct. And so he has some rule of his own that told him that it was a specific response for situations like this. Okay, but I'm talking about right now. Actually, do you have anything to say right now? No, I do not. It appeared to me that he was trying to hide anything or choosing his words in response to my question. His reply was simply that, an answer, nothing more. Yes, a prepared answer written down in a list of responses. That's what it felt to me. As though this particular answer had always been the only one he had available for situations like this. Clearly, prodding him for answers wasn't going to get me anywhere, so, with a curd, sure if you say so, I turned away from him and took off to join the other sinners. As I did so, a few words lingering at the top of my prepared tongue, asking to be let out, so I did. Would be nice to know what you're well looking at. Of that, he spoke. I cannot form a judgment. What? This is because the precise definition and nature of the subject of my gaze are just as unknown to me as to you. Should you point to an object or an enemy, I can provide a verbal explanation based on my current knowledge. If you require such information, please rephrase your questions accordingly. Had I asked him again, then had I tried to get the bottom of that line of questioning, could I have found myself the smallest speaking to Marcel's physique, not psyche, because I almost got a physique, no, but I had remained entirely sure in misery even after an entire year of traveling together. I suppose that's not for me to judge as well. Manager. Oh, yeah. Another battle is imminent, as you have previously instructed. I have informed you of an imminent battle. Yo, was Crocker just gonna sit there? All I will we do all the fighting? They're pouring out of that building over there. So they must be on their way to that building. Our path ahead seems clear, executive manager. Let's neutralize those foes and head up there. Ah, gotcha, brother. The brief lull of battle came to a close. And battling enemies would arrive precisely at the time Marcel had predicted we met our way into the building. Holy hell! 10 blocks with fallen stairs must have awakened once of the batch. How does N-Corp have so many guys on the payroll? There's no end to them. Haha, it is a wing after all. Are these the defibrillators? I thought the culprit work alone. No, N-Quarters entered the ones from the subsequent reports. The N-Corp fixers appeared just as confused as we were. It looked clear to me that they were expecting to find the defibrillator here, not a big group of dozen or so people. What were they thinking sending for the Dekus to do with an organized defibrillation? They should have sent Tabu hunters here instead. Why do you think they told us to consume kind experience containing mass melee combat? They must have thought our current manpower would suffice to do with this. I don't know about that. Wait, wasn't there an extra report? One of them saw. All of a sudden, with a click, the room began to buzz with the metallic whirring of some kind of machinery. Immediately I could tell what it was. Distortion. Standing in the middle of the shaded room was a device I wasn't sure if I had seen before. Its exterior was plastered with strange shapes that looked similar to what we saw on the Chinook's face in earlier battles, making it difficult to grasp its full shape. The round objects affixed to it began to rotate slowly with a little worn-out groan of ThinkPad's its prime. Men! Cheer your eyes! The moonlight began to meet a faint ray of light of this thundering commanding voice. Gah! I quickly turned away as well, making sure not to catch a glimpse of it. The device could be playing a record video executive manager, and a brief look at it could consider it to be a violation. Shit! I saw that! I'm so finished! Useless panic began creeping into the voices of several unlucky individuals. Oh man. Folks, this is quite a little embarrassing. A sleepy voice breaks through the darkness past my, metaphorically speaking, shut eyes. Mentor? Eyes open and do. What's wrong with everyone? Get us in your eyes? The hell is wrong with you? Don't you know that anyone who watches even a split second of a recorded video in Aircraft gets? Of course I know, but I watch it anyway. Open your eyes, Team Fellows, this motion picture isn't recorded. Hang on, he's right. That video is not recording. Possibly emboldened by Kim's comment or perhaps believing that seeing the video could be excused as insider exposure incurred while subduing violators. 10 Corp employees also opened their eyes and began to mutter amongst themselves. Is that thing talking to us? I finally allowed myself a good look at the machine, which was firing a conical beam of light against the side of the wall. And it was its message delivered by words on a black background. So you have tracked me down this far? After what I went through to take refuge in here, decided of finding this place. Are you blinding, consume fake experience after fake experience without even care about the real thing? Case number TC3224, you are under suspicion of a category 3 violation. Reveal yourself now and forfeit your illegal recordings. Should you comply, we will. What is fully witless buffoonery and sense of fools? The hollow vessel bereft of all but lingering delusions grants not even a brawl of echo to the excoriation of tools. What's this fella even all about? I don't know. If you mean to strap the official looks one side to do his force. Clank. Without even so much as turning around, Babu had the king raise his sword and put away 10 Corp employees' nail-shaped weapon. I'm only speaking as swim guides me, my dear fellows, no need to get so huffy. I only aim to say that this abomination has no consciousness. After what I went through to take refuge in here, this student defending this place. I love you blinding consuming experience of terrific You're repeating the same sentence over and over? No, that does make me wonder. Was I just as far gone when I distorted? Passed words and reason? I mean, if anyone has answered that question, it will be you folks, right? Kim said nothing more. He turned a piercing look at us, all the while effortlessly swatting away 10 corporate employees' attacks. As though he was goading us to tell him the truth. Well, don't suppose there is any point in asking. I'm no different from this abomination, just as it wields that contraption. I must have wielded the only thing I have really known, the blade. Transforming into mindless field, consumed by mere flu, cleaving through both friend and foe unrestrained. Hey, Junior, are you still about that? I tried to burn my eyes, I truly did, with such disregard of is easier said than done. How can I, when that distorted being has no qualms showing me the... Doesn't he know how rude the unsolicited reflecting of the phantoms of one's heart is? That's gotta be illegal or something. Illegal, I say. Turning a customer into a tough on a protection racket run, a ran before a car in motion into swirling driver. Conjuring dead followers before the eyes of their mentor, simply inconsensual. Rude as hell, I must say. Before hell almost bursts off my chest courtesy of you. Damn, Kim, you're sure taken. Talk's weird. In that split second, I think a somersault eyebrows twitch. Although imminent, manager. It's a natural response to sincerement, but to perhaps pop. A blinding flash followed by explosive bang. My vision immediately went white and decided to take his damn time coming back. When he did. The first thing that came into view was a particularly unsettling landscape of Scorp, followed by bamboo hatakim surrounded by a small army of Chunok. Mentor! Kept the dog and you will shot me the funk do. It's in about time we both grew accustomed to such sights. Mentor, still do I wake from this dream drenched in cold sweat? That I might bind and drag you away. Huh, this isn't so bad, is it? He used his fog sofa, like earlier were. Another flash. What was that? Everything went dark. I don't understand what's happening, but first thing first, we have to neutralize everyone here and go on our mission back on track. And just take the projection. I've been straying far on wandering all day for this exact reason, and so that was its mechanism. Faust? The words began to shift rapidly before I had the chance to ask Faust what she had meant. That the one who finds comfort settling in lies, I wish you what you must deserve you gaze. Pop. Bollocks, I will blind before today is over at this rate. It changed. It did? Unlike the instance, one of the distortions is different from the others. As Mersal identified, there was something different about the group of Chinook this time. They were accompanied by someone else. A warrior in impressive armor, wielding a sword that was used as tall. That armor, and a great wando of the South Circle. They were united in such manner. The warrior drew a bow that hung from the waistward and knocked an arrow. I suppose this is how it would go down. Had you been the one to grab me? Military Commissioner Gengong. How do you fare, friend? Im Gyeonghop. That's a difficult name, that's for sure. The signals are losing 6 cues. They were losing the knock arrow which soared into the sky with a piercing whistle. And with that air-splitting sound as their cue, the Chinook began to swarm us. It's you call it 10 turns if I remember correctly. And you have shields block. It was 10 turns, didn't it? So both of the 10 turns. Not even 15. Court circle, so. Develop memory, the counter gain 3 memory transition. Turn end lose 1 second. Once recreate turn end transition into different location. When returning to the field base and current battlefront of the homeland gain or lose, no returns to the threat. Surprise of homeland stack. When in battlefront of the homeland, bear hunt gain stack. When in battlefront of the homeland, tiger hunt lose stack. Bear hunt. Simulated pattern of the homeland after 3 turns. Use a pattern made of single coin skills. In Gyeonghop says gains advantage at higher swordplay of the homeland south stat. There we go. The mountains of Escorp's District 19 are home to all manner of beasts. Amongst them, the bear in particular boasts strength and force akin to boulders, falling from the cliff in a landslide. Giving ground to the creature's charge is ill-advised. One must aim to head it down when the first slash of the blade. Swordplay of the homeland Sal. Means when stack 1 and max stack 9. On skill use, I mean a max stacks convert coins to units uses into breakable stat. And min or max, so as long as it has like 2 I suppose. Skill base power gain and gain power stack. Base power minus 6, compower plus 4. Compower plus 2, it's 5 stack no effect. Base power, so if he has high stacks, yeah. Works for bear hunt, and the other one will see tiger hunt. That one uses more coin power, still plus 2 coin power. He's going to have a normal 1 of coin power, or he's just to have going crazy values. Maybe should bring an actual team, like, how do you call it? What? Sinking, burn. I guess even envy, which is burn more than bleed. Legion Brigandine. Max stacks 5. When gaining his effect, gain chain equal to 10% of his units max HP for every stack. Mean 1, run it down. Shield gain does this effect does not expire at turn end. Combat start, gain 1 defense level down for every 2 stack. Then plus slash damage plus 1 stack when taking shield damage equal to 10% of his units max HP. When returning to the field, based on the corner of the gain or lose surface from Lansal. The young Brigandine Sal Iron Bulwark, there's damage. Gain the effect of his panic if this panic at turn and resets the speed to 5 to 45? Not 0, 45, huh? So that's going to be what they use against human name. enemies now, fixing it to 45, so you can use sinking, and if you lose a clash of the first turns you can win the battle. Componente integrale the Dungeon Brigandine. When Dungeon Brigandine Salt expires and encounter. The Eastern Warstride armors are not so much equipped as they are piloted. Escorp's Dungeon Brigandine is one example of such armor, so it's a mechanized armor. Much like Aircorp's power armor suits and the full plate armor used by Knights of the West, the Dungeon Brigandine greatly augments the user's offensive or defensive combat capabilities, so indeed, a mechanized armor. Yet these advantages don't mean that armors of such potency are readily supplied for combat personnel. Each unit has its own unique controls and comes with the limitation of requiring separate fuels. Alright. What remains certain, however, is that, as with all the aforementioned armors, once Rider has familiarized himself with the Dungeon Brigadine's extended reach and heightened power output, he becomes a machine of war that slices across battlefields with the promise of slaughter. Sort of Homeland, Grand Wando. Assume a different battle form of Homeland every 3 turns to end. If this unit has shield, gain by poison 2 points count next turn. When the following conditions are met, use a pattern that includes the bow of the Homeland Arrow Loose skill. When this unit lost all clashes for two turns in a row, does not check for imposed attacks. In the turn after the turn in which this unit spent is in stagger, when in low morale or panic. The user of Homeland's Escorp's traditional art of swordsmanship is also divided into 3 branches: Salpi and PBO. Within their teachings there exist techniques to hew and cleave through creatures of colossal stature, such as Sanguns. To perform them in full, a swordsman must wield a great Quando capable of bearing the strain of that techniques. Mismatched memories gain the following effect when in battle form at least stack gain fragile, add more gain fragile. Martial Arts of Perseverance. On Clash Win gain 2 points count 2 times per turn. If the target is unit skill hits has less than 5 bleed potency, inflict 1 bleed and 2 bleed count until end. Once first skill 2 times per turn presses the American target. Damn. Terratus will persevere in training for lack of talent. Then Terratus blessed with talent, only 2 little draws. All men say that the title of Apex Blade can be seized only by the gifted. It matters not, until the day comes for this blade of mine to reach high enough to meet the clouds. I shall persevere in honing my prowess. Has split in memory, Clash Root gains 1 split in memory. Max attack 1, gain 1 by next turn. Turn and gain current turn count times, well, divided by 4 Clash power up. Why? So let's say you have 8 turns to Clash power up just because? I'm going to have to use sinking again? Well, yo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's my own king. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to not clash? Why? You have the speed. Or guard against one of those ones is going to give you 1 assist defense too. So I could technically ignore one of the, well no, they have the lowest values. Let's see what is the strongest the effect. Sorry, the hammer is uncrashable with. Crush with assist units. Press the target skill is assist defense, crush skill converted to unbreakable coin. scratch that lustre, the combat soul. Lose 2, right? Which is good. Probably should do it with the speediest. So then you're not gaining nothing yet. Let's try to gain a bit of sanity. Actually, I guess you have to go here, you here, not exactly. Ooh. No have houses. Ah no, I do have Jisang. Shame. What can I do there, right? That's right, friend. Let's. Funny. But yeah, if Yangu just loses, she's going to increase his sanity. You can do it, Otis. Let's see, what are you fighting for? That one and you. The counter. Speed. Why are you targeting the same enemy? Market with skills, pretty alright. What's out? We're going to break him coins, no, it's alright. 3 bind. Have 8 Aitsubos. Change attack. A counter skill. You're going to have 1, right? Oh, you are going to convert actual coins into unbreakables, aren't you? Not that I think about it. It was the counter, not to think about it. So what's what did so much damage? Well, then it was quite slow, so shame I had to take it with one of my units. Three. Alright. Well, what is expected of a Sinclair? Fragile. Which one has it? Nothing but a fate. Attack the same enemy, yeah, again. I guess he's doing a defensive one. So I can maintain it against this one. Alright then. Occupy all of his. Speed. Just to maintain a bit. Red. Keep a little bit more. I don't have. Alright then.
당신 짝패군요.
The sanity is the problem. You can stagger, huh? Oh no, it was the counter. Yeah, I forgot that he has a counter.
네 상대는 나야.
Sinker survives. That one should die. Aidu doesn't do anything. Well, damage. Well, maybe. Ooh, you don't lose any of your crash power, did you?
이 순간이 다 되어내리라.
No, it's not losing crash power. Why? It managed to get 4. From where? One of the attacks gave him. It's a retreat. What do you do? Flash phenomenon projector. Do I hit it? Colors, yellow, but you can do purple, no, not purple, blue and do it 2 times. I don't know what that does, so let's see. Oh, sanity. $15 Dokebi. Well, not Dokebi, it's the sword. Three HP.
이 순간이 다 되어내리라.
With a blood trail. Still managed to do a bit of tails against that. So also, I can see it in the background, huh? The image of the enemy. You do something to go. Comes out if the battlefield has returned from S Corp to N Corp this turn. Health 50 SP for all sinners. Alright. This unit cannot be killed and does not take any damage from sources other than skill damage from skills attacking this unit at the main target. The unit speed is fixed to 1. Turns and after entering the counter gain 3 moment transition. Turn and if a transition reaches 0 stack, or if this unit speed reaches 1, activate the following turns start. Remove self and Incorp class 2 staff from the encounter. Returning game up to the Incorp mode to battle to different location. Now we're finally all in sanity also, remember? Maybe we should change it to calcit 1. For attacking you, are you using a Yura? You have 6, huh? Make sure it dies, make sure this one dies. Just use it, doesn't have matter really. Just do not waste attack. Indeed, good. I use Faust then. Nothing think about it. He's going to survive, isn't he?
끝내지. 이 순간이
And he's going to receive the attack from
되었네.
Atelier Julia. Maybe do it bad. Yes, it's going to survive. No! Didn't account the damage. Well, wasted your most useless skills. Oh no, it's going to be even using... No. Unless he retreats, the moment it gets 1 HP. Oh. Oh. Save. You know have... And why he's going back to... I don't understand you. Why? One of the attacks did gain you? The Tiger Hand. Tigers are cunning and ferocious. One cannot hope to go through a tiger's flesh with a single stroke. Only relentless fury of chain slashes can overwhelm attack ratio until it's fell at last. Fail to do so and the tiger will escape death or best his opponent to wander into a sangun aloft the mountain, where these beings will grant auspicious fortune on men or the eternal malevolent gravity is impossible to tell. As multi-coin kills, gain advantage of lower spirit of the homeland style. So yeah, wait, let me see. There is one more that increases your stacks. No. You use this because you wanted, or unless one of the attacks also increases the stats. Oh yeah, it's going to have what? The homeland, the sort of form of the homeland, the one from Kim also. Tiger Hand, War Form. On Clash Star gain through the homeland. Considers an effect or hit against target I use against is lose 2. So Clash Star is going to receive. No, it's doing guard. Damn! Now's the time, brothers. I have no ego. Why? It's... Oh, Weird is one of the teams I use. You're going to go with negative sanity? Wait. No, it's it begins as a minus and gets weird form of using, I guess. Oh. not completely expected. Don't want to waste it.
낸다. 4월을
Prefer to do it in a clash. Maybe he whip out the bow.
내가 찾은 나만의 항해 방식.
The 5.
공업과 비. 코코. 이 순간이 다 배어내리라.
He had 1, right? No, it wasn't supposed to have 5? Did I read it wrong?
낮도 밤도 지나
Also, why do you
숨을
have
파도록 배어내리라.
Umbricle's coins? Well, this is doing all this. Well, yeah, it's passing the damage to Gisag, obviously. Forgot about that important part, didn't you? Got scared for a second. He did lose one of the crashes. It's going to be a Yuria. She's going to do damage. You know, so we're not wiping out the Mang and something, but three. Close. Counter. Oh, this is going to die. I don't like having counter enemies compared to us. They survive a lot more damage. I guess it is what it is, isn't it, brother? Yellow. You are still a tiger form, aren't you? So clash against this one. In 3 surf play. Was he doing this the same? Not think about it last time. That's why he was doing ups and downs and just didn't notice and it thought it was a normal attack. And yeah, this is going to gain. Have to let myself be hit by this. And yeah, that's all. I need to use the strong attacks of the other ones. Will she die? Yes. I guess that's why he had... Who is going to mean Don Quixote, right? No one is going to put a slash fragility in the sun. So we're going to work for subsequent attacks. Yeah, I think he was doing that last time too. That's why even I managed to go and keep it down to 1. I was also increasing it at the same time. Visibility, brother. Remember to keep attention of the enemy. They're going to attack till the end, huh? I guess Vespa is the one that was fast, not Ezra.
소중한 피부로
Oh,
견뎌
50 stacks.
절박하게 갈망했으나 헤아릴 수 없이 저주했어.
딸아이의 상처를 기억하고 있으면 좋겠구려.
9. So getting how much lower? -3 coin power. Don't know how worth it is actually. So 12. Yeah, let's loot attack too. No, let him have two unbreakables. I can use Echo Shear. Yes, he does have 15. Also, it's quite close to lanes, huh? Okay, so it was yellow. There's an enemy that an effect over soil and consume.
그대는 어디까지 가고
이 순간을
있을지.
봐도 헤어
Alright, well I think it's going to end this turn. I would say. Really? Echo Shear.
몰아친 것을 저장한 원문.
Well, wasn't affected that much by SP, so pretty alright. If it was one of those bosses that just keeps gaining SP, those are the ones I dislike the most. Well, it's alright if he gains in panic. I can manage quite alright. Don't have problems against those. Also, we needed to go through round to get the SP from the projector. I just held my form alright. Usually more, I think we might be able to smash that thing to smithereens, but yeah. But it's really hard to focus on one thing with that huge warrior stepping in and out of reality as soon as we make ourselves an opening. It will make our lives a whole lot easier if we could get rid of just one of them. Definitely seeming to be taking a toll on the seniors more so than usual. It wasn't that we were up against an insurmountable foe, not even close. Not to mention Hosra and Engdu were here to help us out. But, shit! Haven't they gotten enough? What time to give up in it? Why don't you go legging in again? The big sword carrying fella sure is kicking our butts, but I don't know if they're the key to solving the distortion. Why exactly flush with options are we? Or X-block and in like we can stop me fight to strategize? With the battlefield constantly shifting and flashing between N-Corp and S-Corp, we simply do not have the breathing room to focus on either the Projector or Imgiamop, who was swinging that grid blade with frightening force. Besides... Endu, go cover his back too. It shall be done. N-Corp was sending far too many people against us. There weren't that many at first, but it seemed that the sudden spike in employee casualties in an area so close to the nest had alerted N-Corp to our location. How do we get out of this? How so this? Help me out, V. I had to stop racking my brain and trying to navigate a situation I know so little about, and instead relying to Senu with possibly more experience on the field. First I need to know if there is any way we can deal with the endless reinforcements N-Corp is sending after us. And Sengok will defeating Imgiot or destroying the Breaktor bringing this distortion phenomenon. If I may speak freely, Executive Manager, it is unlikely that our present force will be sufficient to overcome the current rate of enemy reinforcements. Not only is the battlefield situated in close proximity to the enemy stronghold, but there is an unpredictable variable in that strange machine that makes neutralizing in a single wave of enemies difficult. I regret to be a bearer of bad news, but we are trapped in a battlefield with but a single exit, which the enemies have already blocked. Without reinforcement of our own, there is little hope of prevailing through this current predicament. Yeah, seems that way to me too. But maybe if we can neutralize the distortion phenomenon at the very least. Faust recommends entering the dungeon of the Phantoms as our exit. Dungeons of the Phantoms, but how can I enter if we can tell and talk to the distortion? Wait, maybe. During the LCB regular checkup back at the LCE. Is to tell you all you have to do is read once on the note in front of the distortion, apparently some kind of a code. Right, keywords. This one seems to be a location type distortion, which means that regardless of where the bright flashes take us, and corrupts the twisted caricature of his corp, we're still within its range. In other words, as long as I have the right keywords, I can summon an entrance to its dungeon of the Phantoms from anywhere within it. Okay, so what are the keywords for the distortion then? Him had provided us the necessary keywords for the distortion back then, but this time we had to figure it on our own. First thing first, one of them has to be photographed. It's obviously been present through the entire phenomenon. If I may, perhaps experience might be one of them. Isa puts his 2 cents in, having briefly read to the front but to the back line. There is an undercurrent association with experiences staining its every trial. It must have out in relation with has caused this distortion. Experience. The concept alone lacks substance. It must be something more grounded, something that is as once synonymous with experience, while maintaining that rubber line to incorporate technology that was core of his obsession. Can experience? Most likely, thinks Faust. Alright then, photographer can experience. Now it seems to be transpired as of yet. I didn't, but I could feel it. Are these the kind of photographs they used to make can experience? So that's what the strange sensation was, mentioning that word shock distortion caused that ripping effect. Was clear enough to force open the dungeon of the Phantoms. How many other keywords could there be? Scraps. Sorry? Oh, I thought we were all taking turns sharing what may cause him to the store. And going by the way you folks were saying you piece one after another, I thought it was to be some sort of riddle. No, not a sand riddle, but where will scraps come from? See, when enjoying the benefits of looking off at war, outcomes some mundanities come to possess far more interesting qualities sometimes, even revealing secrets invisible to its fools as well. Take our person of interest, to wit, he has been poking around this area of town with an eye-watering expensive camera in town, so conspicuously that every store owner who will likely proud for information had tales to tell about him. Each tale added another facet to the long saga of a once-driven man, a man with a can-do attitude, an uncanny ability to pull himself up by his own bootstraps, and a clear path towards the next residence, who became so bewitched by photography that he eventually squandered his fortune on what was intended nothing more than a pastime. And that went on until he found himself reduced to a pauper, barely making rent on a scrap heap of an apartment. In pursuit of fidelity, that man has lost grip of fortune and reality. I saw his apartment a few scraps of his writing. When cool rain drips through the roof, when mold and tepid humidity together encroach from earth, the mind begins to wander, lost. Eventually madness is evoked in a form indistinguishable from drunkenness. That vapor loses himself. A shadow darker than I had seen on Kim's face crept beneath the shade of his eyes. No, I had seen that look once in the past. Though it would be more accurate to say that I had heard, hearing his voice that echoing his phantoms distorted by guilt and regret. Perhaps I should have been surprised by the fact that this distortion has, among the countless people here, taken a particular interest in Bamboo Kim. Photograph can experience and scraps. Like inserting a final piece of the puzzle, the space form before us momentarily warp and flash, open a pathway to distortion's phantoms. Well then, we were right behind you exactly, imagine it? Miss Serra, this is what I had seen then, the gateway to one's phantoms? Yeah, this is it, neat stuff. But before she could finish, Serra had to redirect her focus from our discussion back to the battle. Most of the scenes were caught in the same predicament. so managed to disengage from the battle and prepare to enter the dungeon of the Phantoms, with Honglu, Gregor and several others who still busy holding off the Encore employees. Ah, they're gonna follow us right in there if we don't know, right? Probably. Cantos weren't chained to Dante like we are, can travel through the pathway once it's open, so yeah, let's not drive ourselves into an even narrow corner. We'll keep them at bay. Hearing that, Bamboo had the team step up. My sword's arm not what it once was, we should be enough for this. Besides, I have little wish to set foot in some ill-omened place and be tangled in such a bizarre mess. Is that really what he thinks? There was something in his eyes that led me to believe that this was about more than just saying it's time to protect our rear. He was... WTF? What the fuck? Huh? What a terrible front. At least try to pretend to be sincere and make it easy for us to believe you. Do you think that terrible goose was going to fly? Were you trying to avoid Sorcinga? You're not some kid trying to get a doing of his homework. I remember hearing that entering the dungeon of the Phantoms will bring one to the spiral Phantoms the distortion gains in into. That what lies within must be my very own, for that is what the abomination is gaining into. Decide then, you are coming with us. When about to walk in blind to a place we know shit about made, innocent yeah? Oh, that's... He gives it simple, you try that too. Learn the hard way that homework is. Like summer reading doesn't go away because you don't look at it. It's still there even after summer break comes to an end. Ruin the last day of your vacation into all night. Yes. It sure is procrastination, my friend. Areshek is covered, reveling cheerfully in agreement. Stop procrastinating, go do your summer reading. What did you say? Face the homework, save the GPA. Face the sin, save the ego. It is, after all, the attitude the company expects of its employees. Go, Junior. You guys do, LCB. I can handle them all on my own. You will make a loan, son? Hey, what the heck do you think I am? I'll show you my... Yeah, why my team member must felt safe sending me alone with you guys. This was basically a monster of the week situation for team leader and me back in our duo days. I can handle my own, no problemo. I want to see how you guys handle the inflation point, but I guess you can never really have it all. Ah well, I guess you have to trust our two your team newbies to handle that. Now that I think about it, I think I'm setting a pretty solid example as you team Xenia and I. I don't like this, but it seems that I have no choice in the matter as long as this employee card comes from my chest. As Kim shook his head and joined us, dragging his feet out a while. I shall take the vanguard. Mentor, big one, that entrance is floating. Take a little step over, or you might trip. I can clearly say anything to bring me a letter if you are really that worried, why don't you? Have you need of one? Hammer, yes, you didn't worry. Victory indeed. Did I manage that in 10 turns? He did 3, I killed the one in 3-2. And then he managed to change a second time, so actually 9 turns, isn't it? Indeed.
하지만 아직 기회는
No, Blade did a lot of damage too.
그렇다면 여전히 난
Not bad.
인간
It was clear the stage. Well, it's still 10 turns, so no problem. And I guess we know what's going to be next episode, huh? Good stopping point, my friends. I actually enjoyed this one, not considering Rufo with the protection. And the shield was still alive, so even if he has a shield, it doesn't be a shield slop, it's just that's his life. Or well, I guess they didn't want to make it like you were defeating it, just breaking the armor, so to say. And yeah, the mechanic was alright, keeping it down or making it go ups depending on the stage. Well, not the stage, the blade form. So yeah, entertaining that one.
동구는 점심에도 그리 여유롭게
Let's
들어가지
see how it goes into actual
우리 협회는
into actual final boss, maybe, right? Because I have been somewhat spoiled that there is still a little character we have left. We'll have to see. Still, thank you for watching with me, my friends, and hope to see you next time, which is tomorrow. This is actually just tomorrow. So But yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.